Good morning everyone. My name is Gerald Mark A. Ganya and I am from the group 11 with Miss Jana Maika Aguilar, Aban Vaniza, and Nikki Nicole Makiling. The traditional game that we have is the sungka. So, what is sungka? Sungka, or pronounced as sungka, is a two-player turn-based board game wherein the players compete to obtain more stones than the other. So, the game unleashes the competitiveness of the person. Somehow, the sungka game seems to be mind game. It is also known to be improve the mathematical thinking and observation skills of an individual. So, sungka is an ancient Filipino game. Its history can be traced back in 17th century. The game was first described by the first uh, Jesuit priest, Father Jose Sanchez, in his Dictionary of the Bisaya Language or Cebuano in 1692 as Kunggit. Father Jose Sanchez, who had arrived in the Philippines in 1643, wrote that the game was played with seashells in a wooden boat-like board. The Aklanon people still call the game Kunggit. Sungka is the Philippine version of the Mancala game. Mancala is a family of board games played around the world. The term is derived from the Arabic word nakala, which means moved. The mechanics of the game is very simple and easy. So before playing, one must have pebbles or marbles or seashells or any kind. And the most important thing, the sungka board. Okay, to become a legit sungka player, you should be familiar with the mechanics of the game. So we listed down below the sungka rules and mechanics. First mechanics, a player may decide which of the seven houses directly in front of him on his side of the board he wishes to begin with. He picks up all of the seashells from his chosen hole and he should then move his hand around the board in a clockwise direction, dropping one shell in each hole or head he passes over, including all of the holes on both sides of the board and the player's head, but not the opponent's head. The second mechanics is if where you release the last shell from your hand is very important as it dictates whether you may continue your turn, or if you land in your head, then you may continue your turn from any of your holes. The third mechanic, if you drop your last shell into a hole that already had shells in it, you may pick up every shell in that hole, including the one you dropped, and continue your turn. In the fourth mechanics, the players or the current player turn ends when the last piece falls into an empty hole, whether on the player's side or the opponent's side. If this happens in one of your holes on your side of the board, then you may claim all the shells in the hole directly opposite from your opponent's side of the board and drop them in your head, although the turn is still over. And for the last mechanic, both players play simultaneously and it can be quite hectic. Once a player has ended their first turn, he must also wait for the opponent to complete his turn. And from that point on, players take it in turns to play their turns. So that's the mechanics of the sungka game. The game ends when no pieces are left in any hole of both sides of the board. The players now count the number of the piece in their head and see who has won the play. So that would be all for our report, and I hope you guys have learned something. Thank you.